Hey folks, Bob Reese here with the Guides Forecast. It's July 31st in the afternoon. I've been down in Astoria for about a week doing some offshore salmon trips, and that's been going fairly well. But tomorrow is Buoy 10 opener, so big day for everybody that wants to fish the river. I don't know how it's going to go. I have a pretty good idea how it's going to go. I think fishing is going to be pretty challenging for folks that do the traditional Buoy 10 start. A couple factors weigh in to that thought process. One is that we haven't had a thermal block to keep a bunch of Chinook in the estuary. The water's been high and cool, relatively speaking. So fish are migrating right through the estuary and up into the Upper Columbia and other Upper Columbia tributaries. So no big buildup of Chinook in the estuary. That's going to impact catch rates tomorrow. Probably the bigger factor is that we have an outgoing tide all day. High tide happens before dawn, before sunup, and won't actually happen till later in the afternoon. And we have a minus tide, and so folks that get out there gung-ho at the crack of dawn, they're going to be faced with a minus tide and a pretty poor start to the fishery if they have high expectations. So I went into a lot of detail about what to expect for tomorrow's opener for paid subscribers in the Guides Forecast. I'm planning on doing these updates as much as I can. I had a good time doing it last year. Appreciate all the folks following. You may want to subscribe to our Guides Forecast YouTube channel so that you get the updates when I'm posting these. We'll send them out to all of our subscribers. We do have a component of the forecast that'll just go to paid subscribers, 2 levels of subscriptions, both a Chinook level that gets you additional articles from Salmon Trout Steelheader and Bill Monroe, as well as Buzz Ramsey, and then our regular traditional subscription, the Steelhead level membership for $32.95 a year, will get you a lot of great details as well. Of particular importance, of course, is the forecast. How's the fishery going to perform the next day or the next week? That's what we'll try and cover in these short videos as the Buoy 10 fishery progresses. Yeah, tomorrow's opener, I don't think it's gonna go off with a bang. I plan on going over the bar. There was a bar restriction today, 26 and under. We had I think a 4 or 5 foot swell coupled with a minus tide, and that can make for a bit of a treacherous bar, so a lot of folks didn't get outside till after the tide slowed. Ocean fishing, as I mentioned, we did have to bounce around to a few places yesterday before we found our limit of fish, or near limit. Actually came in 1 short. We had a later start. That late start in the ocean fishery does impact your success. The early bird definitely gets the worm for ocean salmon fishing. These fish fill up quick once daybreak happens, and their bites become less and less aggressive as well, so the strike to hook ratio goes down after about 9 o'clock. Seems to be what the benchmark is in the ocean. So a lot of folks have started off to the north, 70, 80 foot of water. There's been a big rip due west of the lighthouse, maybe even a little north of that. Hard to see with all the fog we've had, so definitely need to have confidence in your electronics if you're going to be fishing the ocean. We've had a lot of fog with warm weather in the valley, late morning afternoon winds, which is also very common when we have a big temperature difference between the valley and the coast. And then so up to the north there, 70 to 90 foot of water has been a good place to start. The green line around Buoy 1 has been hit or miss. We had fantastic fishing there about a week ago. That tends to produce better the second half of incoming tide. And then, as I mentioned, I was pretty happy with the steady, slow but steady, or mediocre but steady action that we had at the CR Buoy yesterday. Again, I'm planning on ocean salmon fishing on the opener. If folks do fish Buoy 10 in the river, it would be pretty foolish to start at daybreak and be wasting your time on a minus outgoing tide. That's been a common theme in my reports through our over 20 years of reporting on this fishery. So do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do take a look at our subscriptions. This is a good time to take advantage of that to get the most updated information, especially if you're trying to take advantage of the limited opportunities we have for the buoy 10 fishery. Remember, it's fin clipped only Chinook until the 25th of August. Any fin clip coho is allowed, but there's really no coho to speak of in the river this early in the season. So if you go out, good luck. Do a later start. Maybe target your start time about an hour before low tide. You're really not going to stand much of a chance until that tide starts to slow, especially on the minus tide series that we have. So good luck this season. Stay safe and subscribe to the Guides Forecast.